personally speaking, those Masons who do get out, I get a lot of my Masonic books from them. They just hand over their Masonic books that they've gathered over the years. They give it to me. This way I can sit down, I can pour through it, and I can keep on revealing more truths to these people. So, Lord willing, they'll be able to get saved and get free from what Satan has shackled them with. Especially those people who are stuck in the Illuminati. Those are the most deceived people upon the face of the earth. They are told there is no way out. You try to get out, you will be killed. And the truth is, yes, I'll tell you right now, if you leave the order of the Illuminati, within 24 hours they have nothing less than a $10,000 bounty placed on your neck to anyone in the Illuminati who can collect it. They don't care how, just so long as you execute the person. Now in my case, I lost count after 20-something different death attempts. You just lose count after a while. I mean, I've been shot at, I've been poisoned, they've tried to run me over, they have, according to the last person we got out, a $500,000 bounty out for my neck. Oh, but I'm not worried. I'm not worried, I've got nothing to worry about. I mean, think about this. God has infinite foreknowledge. He knows the exact split second of time somewhere down this road that I'm going to die, or I'm going to be called up in the rapture. Now, no matter how powerful Lucifer or his cronies in the Illuminati believe they are, no matter how strong they think they are, they cannot alter what God has already foreseen 1 second more or less. So why should I get a gray hair? And what really amuses me about all this, and actually you do take on this type of mentality afterwards, because either you're going to laugh about it or you're going to cry about it. What are they doing to me? What are they threatening me with? God? Now wait a second. You're going to hold a gun to my head and said, you're either going to give up what you're doing, or I'm going to send you to God. Hold on, let me come back in a couple of minutes. Let me think this one through. This is ridiculous. If they think that they are going to threaten me, especially at this point in my life, they are out of their minds. You know? And we have to remember, ladies and gentlemen, the same goes with each and every single one of you here. One things that breaks my heart is when I personally have seen pastors, associate pastors, Christians who won't even put one finger on an occult book. This is not the Ark of the Covenant. It's not going to kill you. You know, you don't have to be a Levitical priest to pick it up. But we are so paralyzed with fear. And this doesn't make sense. I thought fear was of Satan and not of God. Well then, why are we afraid? More people tell me, do you know what these people do? Do you know who they're worshiping? Do you know what those witches and... Well, yes, I have a pretty good idea. But it doesn't make sense to me. Why should we be afraid of those people who are worshiping our defeated enemy? Where am I missing the boat in all this? Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm just getting old. In order to understand the order of the Illuminati, you have to look at it from three perspectives. It's not one single thing. If anyone says one thing defines the Illuminati, forget it. You have to understand their religion, their politics, and their finances. I think when we say finances, if I just say the name Rothschild, that should be sufficient. But of course there's some other old bloodlines with a lot of old and dirty money. Rockefellers, Kennedys, DuPont, the Onassis. There's a lot of old, dirty money that goes back into all this. When we look at the occult part of all this, we have to go back all the way to about 3,500 BC, the Tower of Babel. Now we all know that basically at the end of the great Noahic flood, Noah, Mrs. Noah, well, I didn't know her name, Shem, Ham, Japheth, their wives, all of them got off the ark, and all the animals got off with them. Now the problem was, the animals were multiplying faster than the human beings. This was a problem because, you see, these were no longer the friendly, docile, will pet the lion type animals. The curse had already hit the face of the earth. The Garden of Eden was already over. These were man-hunting, flesh-eating creatures. Someone had to come up with an answer because we were on the bottom of the food chain. We became the endangered species. Well, this is where Nimrod comes into play. You read scriptures, you'll find out that Nimrod was a mighty hunter before the Lord. But what most people don't realize is, see, this is an Old English word. And I'm an Old English person, so I can tell you that. The word before means against. Nimrod was not a mighty hunter for God. He was a mighty hunter against God. So you find out that in the occult world, the male god, or who's known as, that part of the aspect of the of witchcraft, he's referred to as the god of the hunt or the stag god. Nimrod was a mighty hunter before the Lord. That's how he became known as the god of the hunt or the stag god, among other names. He and his mother, Semiramis, came up with a brilliant idea. They had a city built, and they had it walled in. This was the very first walled city in man's history. It was known as Babylon. 7 others came about because of it. You'll find out that in the Bible it says, and this was the beginning of his kingdom. Now obviously, if this was his kingdom, he must be the king. And he was. His mother, Semiramis, was the queen. What no one realized back then at first is that through Semiramis and Nimrod, the occult religion was started. This is where we get the occult, is from these 2 people. They co-founded this religion. Nimrod's uncle Shem found out about this. He took Nimrod outside of the city of Babylon and killed him. He chopped his body into little parts and dispersed those throughout the other cities as a warning to anyone else who would ever dared to mock God in this fashion. This was not going to be tolerated. You don't mock God like this. Semiramis, being the smart cookie that she was, took the occult religion and pushed it underground. Now, to put this as gently as possible, just to show you how sick Nimrod and his mother were, and again, I'm going to say this as gently as possible, they were sharing the same bedroom. Now, while she was underground, Semiramis had her son Nimrod elevated to God status. He became, as I just stated, the god of the hunt or the stag god. His symbol is the 5-pointed star. Semiramis, obviously, then must be a goddess. Her symbol was the crescent moon. Whenever you see the crescent moon and the star together, it's the symbol of the co-founders of the occult religion. While she was underground, she had her priests and priestesses. She told them that she was having, get this, an immaculate conception. She was having a baby without sexual intercourse. Now this was not going to be any ordinary baby. You see, this was going to be Nimrod come back in another form.